Hey, Drew. Uh,
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. 18 July, and always great to talk to you. So, what are you thinking about this week?
Well, honestly, I was kind of laying there in my bunk and I was thinking about what's going to keep me alive. That's the truth. Walking out 20, 25, 27 years in prison, you think about, what is going to keep me pushing forward in life? What's going to make me continue to get out of bed? Well, I want to get up and make a difference. And it's a sense of purpose. And behind what underlies a sense of purpose is my responsibilities. And a lot of times, even in this world, in this microcosm of the world that I live in prison, we try to find ways to escape responsibility. But when we're escaping responsibility, I'm really escaping life. Now, let me explain this to you really quick. I'm not responsible for my life right now. I'm aware of this freedom that I want to get back to. Really is being responsible for every facet of my life, for providing for myself, pursuing my dreams. But a lot of people don't see freedom equated with responsibility. And I kept thinking, what is going to continue to make me live, continue to make me grow? And it's embracing responsibility, because my most memorable moments in life will be tied to when I was responsible for someone, something, and at a bare minimum myself. That's what I've been thinking about, responsibility. How can I embrace it more? And how can I increase it in my life?
No, that's pretty good. That really resonates with me. I enjoyed, the book and the discussions of Jocko Willing, talking about extreme ownership. I think that's right
Yeah,
there next to responsibility.
yeah,
I mean, that's what the Army and the Army Special Forces taught me was own it. As a leader,
yeah,
take it by the reins, and if there's mistakes, fix them. Don't hide them.
yeah,
Get address the root cause of whatever problem there is, and get after it. And that's how pursue um, you know, success vigorously, right?
yeah,
And I agree with you. Taking that responsibility, also, but also a key aspect is empower others to take responsibility and give
yeah,
them their own,
yeah,
lane and role
yeah,
um,
yeah,
but you keyed on something else too. I think the importance of leading yourself first, right?
yeah,
Before you can serve that higher purpose, you got to get your ducks in a row and you got to be taking care of
yeah,
yourself, really. But if you
yeah,
do that, that's almost your foundation to then serve that higher purpose, serve others, and make a difference. And I think that gets towards meaning.
yeah. In that circle of influence that we had kind of created and crafted together, talking about how you first have to have an available heart, and once you have an available heart, you can get a sense of purpose, which turns into fruit of desire, which is determination, the garment of humility. Humility, you prosper from a sense of humility, but the available heart, you have to have that as an undergarment to your responsibility. You can't be closed off. You have to be aware of your surroundings and who you're responsible to, and you have to have a discernment in every situation. How can I be of service? And so you have to become an others-minded thinking individual, rather than a solo, individualistic way of thinking. So you have to have an available heart to have a sense of purpose. Your responsibility will come out of there.
No, I think that is great. Yeah, yeah, that available heart, and you got to have the energy and willpower, to go after it. And you got to visualize that purpose you're going to be serving. I listened to
Yeah.
web, um, I'm sorry, a podcast today, and it was Jordan Peterson, and he was
Ah,
talking to a Columbia professor, and I can't remember the name right now, but he wrote a book called Transcend. I think that's going to be one of the next books I
okay.
send you. But they both of them, they're both, in the experts in psychology. Okay, so when I send you the book, you can see all their, his credentials and whatnot. But after all their dialogue, and they're talking about all this scientific, research that they're doing related to psychology, they brought, at the end of the day, they, brought it back to meaning was being able to enable somebody with potential that isn't necessarily being fully recognized for their potential, and enabling them to then, prosper. And they said
Yeah.
that is like the most meaning they can get, out of life. And I think it goes back to what you're saying: being responsible, having positive influence with others, is, it's pretty
And it's
powerful.
embracing responsibility. It's embracing responsibility, and recognizing that our responsibility, a lot of people think responsibility is that thing that keeps you from total freedom. But it's really the embracing of responsibility that you find your freedom. So I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of a paradox. And
Yeah,
obviously, freedom and responsibility in a prisoner's life. You know, we're denied freedom, but we're also denied the ability to be responsible in certain aspects of our life.
yeah, but I'm sure
Um,
you have responsibilities. I hear all your stories all the time in
yeah, I
prison,
have tons of
right?
I have tons of responsibilities. I have tons of responsibilities, but I seek them out and create them for myself. If you wanted to lay in your bunk all day, they're going to feed you 3 times a day, and you can lay there and die. You know, you have to get up and create and generate responsibilities and generate purpose and generate change. Um, but it comes through the acceptance of responsibility, and not just responsibility, but responsibilities,
Yeah,
multiple,
yeah,
plural.
yeah,
Um, and when you learn to be responsible in one area of your life, it's just like physical fitness. It begins to transcend into every other area of your life. Now you can be responsible in multiple categories.
yep. You know,
I remember
oh,
even when you're in school, you graduate to where you have a 6 class schedule. Until you graduate to you're responsible enough to go to a college campus where there's a lot more freedom, and you have to might have to travel a little bit of a distance to get to a certain building for a class. But we don't put middle schoolers in that type of setting, do we? We know they can't handle that response. You grow into these responsibilities. Well, when you grow into these responsibilities, you're also growing into your new freedoms.
yep. No, I think that's pretty good. So I think this goes back to, um, you know individual and group responsibilities, right? And so I think at the
Yeah,
baseline, if you take it back to yourself, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a creator of your life, or do you want to
yeah,
be a reactor, to your life? The
right,
same
right, right,
same
right,
letters, spell two different words. It's like almost like two words on either side of a teeter
right,
totter,
right, right.
and but if you have the essence of responsibility, that's on the creator side, because you're owning
Yeah,
it. And last video session we talked about the importance of preparation. And if you're always preparing and pursuing the next thing, the next responsibility, and developing it, so
yeah,
that you're successful pursuing excellence, then you're going to create a great life. Otherwise, if you sit
yeah,
back on your haunches and you're letting just life come at you, you're going to take what life deals, and it's not always good, if you're not shaping it.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm right there with you. Um, Life is a big thing, man. You get one shot at it. There's this quote that I read in one of Eric Greitens' books, and I think he's actually quoting another individual. that I hung over my desk, and it says, "I shall pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, that I can do, or any kindness that I can show, let me not defer nor neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again." And I look at it every day when I go to work, remind that every day I have that one opportunity to make an impression in someone's life, to make something of my own life. I have this moment right now with you, and I need to make the most of every moment I'm given. If I desire a life worthy of legacy, a life that leaves an impression, beyond my own. So it's something I won't pass this way again. I got this one shot.
Yeah.
I've already screwed it up a little bit, and I can't afford to screw it up anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think you're doing awesome, given the conditions you're in right now of fostering that, attitude, outlook, perspective, and taking advantage of the opportunities that you have, and
Yeah.
and that is so similar to where I'm, sitting. Because every day is a new day, and you can't rely on what you did yesterday. Your reputation, your reputation, and your success is still in front of you, and every day it's in front of you, and it's unending. And and the challenges, we're built for struggle, and so the challenge is one of my favorite leadership analogies is, hey, we get paid for seeing how many plates we can keep spinning on our fingers and our toes, without a plate falling and crashing, right? And and so how can you do that with a balanced lifestyle? Because you don't want to work yourself to death. You don't want to just do work. You want it to be in also love, and having joy, being individually fulfilled, but enabling others to be fulfilled. I mean, that's a great purpose in life. So, but you got to own responsibility. You got to take it by the horns.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, there's a fun part and a part where it's more work. I mean, think about shears. Skills, habits, energy, attitude, relationships, service. And you and I had said, that a life is determined by the service that we bring to those we love and those that are around us. So the beginning part of that is what? Skills, habits, and energy. And these three together give me an attitude. How I handle skills, habits, and energy give me a habit. Give me an attitude. My attitude sets the ceilings for my relationships in my life. And those relationships oftentimes shape my ability to have a service in this world.
Yep.
And, that's what it's really about, man. The impact we make. When you get sentenced, they have victims' impact statements. And it is extremely difficult to listen to the negative impact of the actions that we took in our lifetime, those of us that are on this side of the wall, this side of the fence, or this side of the wire. Every single day that I'm living my life, I'm seeking to make an impact. But this time, I want it to be a positive impact. And I can only do that by focusing on the skills I'm building every day, the habits I make and maintain, the energy I give myself, the attitude that I hopefully reflects the grace of God, the relationships I have in my life, including you, is hopefully going to give me that service or that impact, the impact statement that doesn't talk about the damage I caused, but it talks about the repair and the reconstruction, not only in my life, but in the lives of other people as well.
Yep. No, I like.
It all comes to responsibility.
Yep, and so Shears, the acronym you highlighted, right? Those are the key aspects or key focus areas you need to consider, to cut through the BS in life. Because if you don't focus on those spots, you're gonna get hung up. And if
Yeah.
you do focus on that, at the end of the day, I think it'll help you get closer towards fulfillment, joy, and love, right? Which
Yeah.
I think which is the trinity of overall happiness.
5, 4, 3. I love you, cousin.
Talk to you
2, 1.
later.
Till next week.